This is a Your Last Resorts production.
And welcome back to the Your Last Resort podcast with your host, Brandon Lejean, aka The Shoe Comic. This week, I have a really exciting guest. His name is DJ Harris. He's a special man. He's a talented man. 4 parts to him. We got artist, photographer, skater, and hockey. We're going to talk about all of those today. Thank you for joining the podcast, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Of course, of course. Before we get into you, tell the guests how we met and all that kind of stuff. I like to break the ice with the would you rather, get the podcast started. So the first would you rather that I got for you right now is, would you rather get stuck in a zombie apocalypse or an alien invasion? It's there's pros and cons to both for sure.
That is okay. So one, zombies, I feel like I have to rely on my own intelligence to survive.
Yes.
Aliens, I feel like regardless, I am like not as intelligent as them.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. There's like primal instinct I got to rely on to get by, and hope that like the rest of the world is just like, you know what, fuck countries, we're all one team right now, and try and get by. But that is,
it's tough. It's tough because I definitely have a better chance of surviving the zombie apocalypse than an alien invasion, just because I mean, you know, a big thing is what kind of zombies. I was more thinking, you know, like the slower zombies, because if it's World War Z zombies, I mean, does it really matter? Like I'm done for. But the slower, I was thinking like the slower ones, because the aliens are at least gonna make it like over quick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
they already have that dialed in, like who they're keeping or not.
Exactly. Like The Walking Dead. I still watch that show for some reason. And they're like 13 years into the apocalypse, still struggling, still fighting random people, still like don't have basic necessities. And it's like, I don't know, they kind of me thinking like, at least like the aliens, I'm probably dead within a day or two if they're not keeping me. So at least I'm not spending 13 years struggling just to get killed by a zombie in the end anyway.
That's true.
I don't know.
I feel like the fighter in me would want to like do zombies, and just be like, if I died at the end, at least I like gave it my all for a longer period of time, versus like if I give it my all against aliens, then I'm like, regardless, I'm probably just getting zapped, and my all is not worth much against an alien invasion. But zombies, I can at least like navigate, move to colder weather, they slow down, I can try and I don't know that. I'm gonna say zombies. But I'd like, if aliens came but like peacefully, like I'd be down for that.
Yeah. I mean, even if the aliens, like if I could figure out that the aliens were gonna let me be one of the people that lives, then I'd choose that. But I feel you about the zombie apocalypse, where you're like, there's that part of you that feels like you could survive in one. I feel like deep down everyone has most guys have somewhat of a plan for the zombie apocalypse. Like I always say, like, I'm like, if it happens, you got to stay inside the first couple of days, because you're going to get shot by like Bill down the street at Walmart. If you go to Walmart, like you got to hide and group up and like wait out the crazy people at first.
Yeah, there's people that are more ready than you might be. Like, legit,
exactly.
Ready to go. So yeah, you got to wait that out a little bit. Let them know like, hey, I'm still me.
Yeah, exactly. Cause that's, I mean, that's what would piss me off the most. Like if a zombie apocalypse happens and I don't get killed by a zombie, like if it's a human to do me in, that's so anticlimactic, you know?
I'd be pretty bummed.
Like, even imagine if you chose the alien invasion and like the way you died during the alien invasion was like someone rear-ended your car and you died like in traffic, fleeing the city or something.
I would not announce that in my afterlife. How'd you die during the alien invasion? A guy named Rick was driving the wrong way and just hit me. I don't know. Didn't see it coming.
Like, you know, like when you go to prison, if if you're like a pedophile, you're not supposed to tell anyone because everyone's gonna like kill you there. Like you go to heaven, everyone's like, "How'd you die?" You're like, "Dude, aliens zapped me with a laser beam." They're like, "This guy's a phony. He got hit by a car."
By a car. He was going to get a Snickers.
Yeah, this shit would be embarrassing. But all right, so I want to move into talking a little bit about you more now. And for the listeners, we met, you're friends with AJ Santos, a super funny comedian, and you did shoots at the show that I talked about. You guys might, if you're a continuing listener or part of the squad, you might remember it from probably like 10 episodes ago now. But the first thing I want to talk to you about was your drawings. I was looking at your drawings, guys. If you want to check out his drawings, go to DJs_doodles on Instagram. You have some super cool drawings up there. My favorite, I was looking at him. I definitely am a big fan of the like deer hunter one, where it's the deer, but he's dressed up as a hunter.
I appreciate that.
Of course. Where do you come up with the ideas for these drawings? Like that's what is, I think it's so clever because like the way I looked at the deer one is like, that's like a funny joke, like that it's a deer hunter, but he's a deer that's a hunter, and that's clever. That's not easy to come up with. Where do you like get inspirations for your drawings?
So that particular time was, so every October, it's like in the art community. And I say that only knowing from like other artists that I interact with. But like it's Inktober, so it's like a month totally dedicated to drawing in ink with ink. So like no digital, it's just like pen, like markers, pens, anything in ink is like the medium that you're using. And there's an artist, Jake Parker, who is unreal. But he has a prompt, and other people have prompts too, but they'll have a prompt of like each day, this is the word, and then you make a drawing off that word. I think the word for that day was hunter. And I always try to find a way of just like, I mean, I could draw a hunter, like I never want to be like too literal.
You
like if I can, basic. I want to think outside the box of like, okay, hunter, for me, I feel like, I don't know, I'm always trying to be like, make something interesting or funny in a way. And I was like, okay, ironically, it would be hilarious if like the hunter is a deer, which like, I feel like common knowledge, deers are hunted by man. So I was just like, fuck it, I'm going to throw a vest on this guy, the hat, he's going to have a cigarette. Like this guy's salty as fuck. And he's got a bow trying to hunt down some people. Like he's seeking revenge.
I like it.
I don't know like, I mean, everything takes time a little bit, I guess. Each drawing, like some things this year, I tried to have it to where like I wake up and I look at the word and then it's just like from then go. So I can have a consistent time frame of like, okay, I woke up at 6:30, looked at the word, and I have until 8:00 to like figure out a concept for it. Whereas like others, I would like look at the whole list and try and like maybe develop ideas over time. So sometimes it's like a quick like boom, like here's the idea, and sometimes I'm sitting there just like, what the fuck? Like, some words I'm just like, man, like I don't even know how to make this interesting at all, besides being literal.
That's such a good exercise, though. That's really cool that the art community kind of has that thing where you got, and I'm sure you follow other artists and compare work and get to know each other, and it's just kind of a fun way to make it more of a community and to be more consistent with your work, because it's only going to get you better is doing that. That's more what it's for than anything, is to just kind of exercise it. I am terribly unartistic, like with my drawing and art skills. It's so bad. We did a paint night here at my house not too long ago, and I put them up on my Instagram, and it hurt my feelings because I asked what was the favorite and the worst, and everyone just put mine as the worst. So it was one of those, it's one of those things where I don't have it. Like I can't be like gentle with the edges. I can't, everything's too, it's just bad when I do it. So what I wanted to ask you was, what do you have something that's like the hardest for you to draw? You know, I hear artists say maybe hands or shit like that. Is there something for you that whenever you got to draw it in a picture, you're like, ah, shit, not this again?
Hardest. Girls are hard to draw for me.
Okay.
Like it's hard to get like the feminine form down.
Yeah.
Because like you can really like it can, at least for me, real easily like the wrong stroke and that chick is looking like a dude. She's looking a little bit more beefy and masculine. So it's just like,
yeah.
Anytime I'm trying to draw a girl, it's just like, okay, how do I keep this more in like the feminine physique? And then I overthink it, and then that causes me to like fuck up. And then because it goes from like sketching with a pencil, which is like the draft essentially. It's like I'm getting the lines down, and then when I go in with pen, it's just like, okay, well, this is permanent. So whatever I do now, I gotta stick with, or I gotta do it all over again. And I don't like to do it all over again. So it's usually just like, hey, this is it, or it's gonna be a shitty drawing.
Yeah. Okay. That's the girl. I mean, that makes sense. You are a guy, so it's, you probably just know how to draw a guy better. You should try putting a wig on and like lipstick the next time you draw a girl, and do it like, how actors method act. You should method paint, like dress yourself up as a beautiful woman, and then maybe you could draw a beautiful woman.
You should see probably like 4 years ago now. I'll say partner, girl, so people don't get confused. But she was the Hulk for Halloween, and I was Black Widow. So I was full wig. I think I put lipstick on, had a bra on, like stuffed.
Yeah.
Just wearing fucking leggings and just strutting it. And I remember beforehand we went to Ralph's. We had to like pick up some drinks for the party, and she got uncomfortable real quick because some dudes were legit just checking me out like from behind.
Oh my god!
Because I was full costume going in, and then she's like, "Okay, we need to go," and I was just like, "Nope, I'm gonna let you be real uncomfortable right now." Like, I don't care. The worst thing that happens to me is a guy comes up to me, and then I turn around and I'm like, "What's up, dude?" And they're just like, "Okay, now I'm the creep."
Yeah, that's so funny. That's so funny because I bet you like your girl, like she was probably like really excited about the idea, and then it's funny that out of like she became the one that was uncomfortable with it, not you completely like cross-dress, which to each his own, but it's I don't think that's something that you normally do, so you're the one out of your comfort zone in this situation.
For
that's
sure.
great. That's so awesome that guys are checking you out, because like okay, one, like you said, it would be so funny if someone walks up behind you and you're just like, "What's up, man?" Like, and like scared the shit out of them. But also just knowing how guys' brains work, is a guy who would be like, "Yo, that's a hot Black Widow," and then found out it was a dude, would be so hurt by that,
They'd be rattled. Like they would have to do some very deep self-reflection of just like, okay, I gotta reevaluate some things. Like I gotta not throw out some looks so hard.
Yeah, you the wrong like homophobic person like has that happen to them, like they're disappointed in themselves, which
they don't know what to do.
Yeah. That's so cool. That's a great fucking costume, dude. When the last thing I want to ask you about your drawing is because you do so many things, is drawing something you've always been doing? I won't ask when you started drawing, because it's like, I don't know, fucking when I was 3 and someone handed me a crayon, but when did you kind of really start, like when did you get into it more, I suppose? I don't know, I don't know how to word it.
Well, I would say like, I don't want to go to the 3, but like around like pre like grade school, like I was interested in it. My grandpa, he was an artist, like great painter. We have some paintings of his that are like legit, and like now that I've grown up to be an artist more, it's just like even more like wow, because I am not like, I am 30 plus years into my life, and it's just like I have not developed my skills enough to accomplish that. So he was an artist, so I appreciated that, and he in his ways like cultivated like the artist in me, So like for gifts for like Christmas and like my birthday, like a lot of them were like the art sets where you get like the markers, the pens, the like colored pencils, all that stuff. And like really promoted that, like, I guess, aspect of my, what would be the word? Like growth.
Yeah.
So
like
I got into it very young. And then it's funny because it's nowadays I think of stuff like, okay, there's things I remember. And now I'm like old enough to where like I forget a lot of shit. So stuff that I remember must be pretty important, like in my life. And I still remember like kindergarten, we would like made plates and you'd color with a marker and they like basically impose it on a plate. And I remember a kid like making fun of my drawing. And I was just like, damn, like it fucking sucks. Like 5 years old, someone's just like making fun of your drawing.
For real.
And then to like now where I feel like I've developed my skill a good amount and people enjoy my stuff. And it's just like, fuck you, dude. Like
still, fuck that kid. Nah, I feel you though, because it's so wild how our brain holds not like a grudge necessarily. I don't think you're like doing fucking push-ups and shadow boxing in your room the pictures of this kid. But it's weird how everyone has those childhood moments where you can think back to something that mattered to you, someone making fun of it, and how it sticks with you. And it can be good motivation if you use it in a constructive way of just being like how you're saying, look how far I've grown, look how far I've come, all that. But it also can eat you alive if you're ridiculous about it and let it consume you about something that happened that long ago that person probably doesn't remember.
That's the thing. They probably have zero idea that they said that. But I like still hold on to it, just like, man, that was not cool. And I don't want to say that was like my motivating factor, but like that was for sure like a marker of just like that didn't feel good. But then I had like artistic friends and was always around that crowd. I didn't take art classes really.
Okay.
I only took one art class in middle school. Took one art class in high school. And other than that, it's just like, I mean, for the most part, I feel like I've not done the best by my artistic self because I just kind of, it's like very hot and cold. Like I get into a groove where I'm doing it a lot and I feel like I have like, I don't want to sound douchey, but like a natural talent for it.
Yeah.
But there's not like the consistency to make it like a legit, like, wow, like fucking crushing it.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah, there's that problem where it you can enjoy something and it's just hard to commit for things. I do that a lot with like I'll have ideas for comedy related things. You know, the podcast has been consistent. I started doing food reviews, they've been consistent, but there's definitely endeavors that I've started doing where I'm like, this is funny and people will like this, and then I just get lazy with it or you don't care about it anymore. And like you said, consistency is one of the hardest things in any field, whether it's
anything,
art, comic, whether you're a postman and your consistency is like properly delivering letters, like just little shit like that. Everyone slips up with it. So I think it's important to never like shit on yourself too much for consistency issues, but it is also important to keep yourself in check with them, I suppose.
Yeah, it's like you can't expect to be perfect, but you still want to like hold yourself to a high regard to get stuff done, at least if you find it important. Like there's some shit that I'm not about and it's like, oh, you don't do that a lot. And it's like, yeah, well, I fucking decided not to do that a lot because I wanted to do, you know, whatever more.
Well,
but yeah, it's for sure like a balance of knowing when to give yourself some slack.
Exactly. And like you were saying how you remember that kid telling you your picture wasn't good because art is what you cared about. Everyone has, even the person you might think might be the most mundane, laziest, doesn't care person, they care truly about something. Everyone does. So it's just it's and everyone wants to do good at that thing, whether you know whatever your thing is. I think it sucks to have anyone tell you that you're not good at it or it's weird. That's something I've really been trying to to work on my life is that anyone that's important to me or that I respect, if they have interest in something and show me it, to never like give them shit for it. Even if they come into my, they come up to me and they're like, "Hey man, I want to be an astronaut and I'm going to build a spaceship in my backyard and I'm going to go to the moon." And I'll be like, "Dude, that's cool. Make sure you're safe, but that's dope that you want to do that." And I think that's important for a lot of people, and it's will help your friendships and just help you be the fucking better person. Cause I mean, everyone, like you said, everyone thinks back to that moment, and I think we create those moments without even realizing it,
Yep.
which is not good. But okay, so I want to move into your photography stuff because I want to talk about this too. If you guys are watching the podcast, I'll have now had some photos running up between us. If not, go check out his photography Instagram. It's DJ_photo_lens. So make sure you guys go check that out. Some beautiful shots, like you said. You did the shots at that comedy show. Do you have an all-time favorite shoot you've done, or what I might be saying the wrong terminology, but do you have like a like, to me a shoot is like, oh, you went and took pictures at the beach and you're like, oh, my favorite shot is from that beach shot. Is there something like that, a favorite shot you can think of?
I have a couple, but it's like two different reasoning. So one, just based off of like circumstance, and I don't want to say it's like my best work, but I'm very like proud of like how it turned out.
Of course.
This was like 3 years ago. There was like a storm that came in, so there was like rain and lightning, like legit lightning strikes.
Yeah.
And I remember I had just gotten like a brand new lens, and I like it got the notification that it was delivered. Like it was raining, lightning, and I was just like, dude, I'm gonna go try and get some.
That's the
like some lightning.
The perfect
photos.
Storm, for lack of a less corny word,
Exactly. Yeah. So I go home, grab the lens. I already have my camera with me, and then just like dip out. And I remember driving down the street trying to get to a specific spot like PCH because I was trying to do it like on the beach, and just seeing like bolts like coming down like directly, not like on the street in front of me, but like in line with the street driving on, just like bolts of light coming down, and then just like, okay, like I need to fucking up, like traffic needs to move on, like I need to get to where I'm going. And just sitting out there for 2.5 hours just taking photos, and it's for those, it's long exposure. I'm taking the picture and it's keeping the shutter open for an extended period of time, and I was doing it between like 30 seconds to a minute. So it's literally just like click the button and then the shutter opens, and then I just sit there and just try and enjoy the view and hope that lightning comes in that time period. Got a few different strikes. I was pretty stoked on those. So for that one, just like circumstances, because like since then, I don't think we've had any storms that have come in that have produced lightning that like that. And at night, like the whole timing of everything, the perfect storm of like that day. I really enjoy that. And then I guess recently, to where I'm like trying to find my like style, or like cultivate ideas of like, it's not like I'm just taking a picture of something that's happening. It's like I need to make something happen and then take a picture of it to get the what I'm going for.
Okay.
And this was in January, so it's recent. But a buddy of mine, I had posted something, I one of my like YouTube videos, and I talked about wanting to take more pictures because I'm trying to like get my photography account like followers up. And
go follow him, guys, or I'm gonna come to your house and beat your ass. I got you at least one more follower off that. You're welcome.
And while he's beating your ass, I'll be pacing in the background.
Exactly.
So he hit me up. He's like, "Oh, dude, like if you ever like need some, if basically like I'm down to help out in that that category with the photos."
Yeah.
And at the time, I was just like, like I'm not sure like what I could do. So it was like I didn't want to, like I felt bad thinking that, but it was just like like I don't know. And then like a week later, like an idea just popped in my head, and I was just like, okay, here we go. Hit him up, and I was like, this is my idea. This is what I want to do. And then he's like, okay, down. Found a day. And then so from like idea in my head to like execution of it, it was just like, I'm extremely stoked with like the photos that I was able to produce from it. And it was the ones, I don't know if you saw, it's a guy on a skateboard, like the palm trees.
Oh,
it's got like a summer vibe.
Yeah.
So from like start to finish of like, okay, riding a skateboard, like from the outfit to location, time of day, like in vibe, I felt like from concept in my mind to like photo that I saw when I was editing, I was like super stoked on. It wasn't like, oh, I was trying to get this and like this is the best I can get. It was just like, hell yeah, good job, DJ. You did it. Like, you saw it in your head and then you figured it out.
No, exactly.
So those are my two.
That's so cool, man, to have all that come together. I mean, I don't think, myself included, that a lot of people realize kind of what goes into photography like that. I think, you know, we're all, everyone's a photographer nowadays. You know, you got a fucking iPhone, take a picture of it next to a pink wall, and, you know, next thing you know, you got a photo Instagram too. So I think it's cool that, you know, to hear this other side and how you set it up, and how it's not just, like you said, you just sit there and it's open for 30 seconds and you hope that it happens in this moment. That's really cool. And I think people, you know, we literally have an app that you scroll through photos. And so, you know, I think people's appreciation for photos goes down a little. So when, you know, next time, I, at least personally, next time that I see a cool photo like that, to know that maybe more than winning it than just someone being like, oh, hey, look, lightning. It's not like that. So that's really impressive. A thing that I wanted to ask you is, do you have a favorite thing to shoot? So is it like wilderness, people, shows, action shots? What's your favorite if you had to pick one?
So this is going to be off from what I just said are my favorite shoots.
Yeah.
Kind of, because I like, for me, my favorite is like events. And it is the what is the word?
I don't know.
I can't think of the word. But shooting events, because things are happening. So I'm just literally like capturing a moment. Yeah. So it's literally just the search of just like, okay, sitting there with the camera, and then something happens. Like, I've shot, my buddy is in a band. Like the Gospel Swamp. They're dope.
Okay.
Like a little rock band. But they had a show at a bar, and I went in. I hadn't listened to the music before. I just brought my camera because, like, I'll just, you know, try and take photos anytime I can get experience in a certain situation, because like different types of photography take different types of like skill sets and understanding of how to use the camera. So I brought my camera, and it was just like, fuck, that was a blast. Like, I would love to shoot concert photography. I would love to shoot like sports photography, because those are my favorite, because I'm literally there to just try and capture an event that is happening by itself.
And
like those events are going to happen
too. Yeah.
Kinda. Like, I've shot like hockey games, and I'm so focused on being in a certain area and looking for a certain moment. That I could not tell you the score of a game.
Okay, fair enough.
At the end of it, I could like, unless I'm like looking up, it's just like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. I don't know who's up, who's down. I saw that hit over there. I saw that goal. I saw that fight over there. But it's like, that's a whole nother thing of just like, at least on the social media aspect, but events for sure would be my favorite as far as like concerts and like sporting events, just because like stuff is happening and it's just literally, there's no acting. There's no like, oh, you need to smile. It's just people are having a good time or people are having a bad time.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's hard to like take a picture of a rough time. Because I shot like the women's national championships for like USA Hockey. And taking pictures of the losing team felt so like, I was like, damn, I'm literally intruding on your like moment of sadness. Like
Yeah,
girls
for
like
real.
losing, like just like legit crying and upset, and it's just like,
Mhm.
well, I'm just gonna capture this real quick.
Yeah, smile.
Yeah. So it's just like seeing, like having to capture someone's like raw emotion of being sad
Yeah.
is tough because you're feeling like you're like invading in their personal space, but at the same time also capturing like the happiness, like capturing both sides of it is like what it's about. Like you need to see that the losing
Yeah.
team
Well, it's
didn't just walk away.
It's raw, unfiltered emotions from both sides.
Yeah.
Like you said, none of it's planned, none of it's script. You didn't come here being like, I'm gonna take this picture, I'm gonna take that picture. You're just taking pictures of the moment. And you, like you said, you know, it's not the greatest taking a picture of a person crying, but that emotion of losing a championship like that is not an emotion that most people would ever get to experience, and that you're able to capture it and put it in like a picture that doesn't move. It's not a video, it's not a gif, is really really crazy. The last thing I wanted to ask you, do you think you could be a like children's photographer? You know, the mall, where you go to the mall and you got to take those awful pictures as a child and the kids are screaming and shit. Do you think you could do that? Because that seems like the worst photographer job you could have.
That particular job of like in a mall doing it,
Uh-huh.
absolutely not. Because I
Not?
just feel like I would not get any fulfillment out of it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
So like I could do it,
Uh-huh.
but like I would not enjoy it.
Yeah. Yeah.
If there was a circumstance, because like I've done like family photos,
Mm-hmm.
and like kids are great because they are naturally spontaneous.
Yeah.
So it's like I've taken photos of like kids, like for like the family, and they're
Mm-hmm.
just having a good time like playing with each other, and it's like those
Yeah.
photos are great because you're capturing like that kid, like those
Uh-huh.
kids, like you're I'm doing my best to capture like their personality at
Uh-huh.
that stage in life, like for the family to look back on and be like, oh, like, you
They
know,
are
Johnny
priceless
was a wild
pictures.
one.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
we still have in my house, my parents still have up those photos that we took as like a family that I remember being just awful and terrible, but they love them so much. So I guess I do get that. Is there something, because that was just in, you know, like in comics, everyone's like, you never want to be a cruise ship comic, you're stuck doing clean, and you know there's some people that are built for it though. Is that, but that's kind of in the comedy world something that's considered like not not a good, like bottom of the barrel. What's the bottom of the barrel in the photography world? Or is there
I don't
not really something like that?
I don't even know if I'm like in it enough to even know where the
Uh-huh.
bottom could be.
I mean, you guys also, photographers just might be nicer people and don't talk shit on what anyone does, because a cruise ship comic is still probably making a good living, but comics are assholes and self-conscious and insecure, so we're going to be like, that one's the worst one. So maybe everyone's just kind of supportive in the art community, and there just really is, like, even though you couldn't do kids, that's like how I was saying that they're priceless memories. That might be someone's, you know, dream come true.
That's the thing where it's like a niche. Like someone could be
Uh-huh.
100% about it, but I
Yeah.
guarantee if there's like someone that isn't about it, but they're
Mm-hmm.
doing it to get like that consistent income, they
Yeah.
for sure are on the side doing something that they like actually care about. Like they're taking pictures about like they're trying to get gigs that are like a category they're trying to go towards,
Yeah.
but there's only like, I don't want to say there's only so many spaces, but you
But
know,
I
there's
get,
only
no, it's
photographers you see at a game.
exactly, there's certain amount of things. Otherwise, like, everyone could be a photographer or everyone could be a comic. There are shitty gigs, and like you said, maybe things you're doing that isn't that you don't like, but like you said, it's just so that you can wait and get other things, and there's stepping stones in all forms of art like that. So I totally get that. So I want to move into one of the first segments right now, the avid deserter. This is where I have my
Okay.
guests give their three favorite desserts and their least favorite, and all I ask is don't be boring basic person and be like cake, ice cream, donuts. Like, tell me what kind of cake is your favorite, what kind of ice cream, what kind of donut, if those are your choices,
Yeah.
What's your number one favorite dessert?
I'm just going like, this is one because I enjoy it, and then this is like also like a nostalgia thing too. Is I'm gonna say rainbow sherbet, like Thrifty's ice cream.
Ooh, that's a great. Okay, I like you even more now because of that answer. Rainbow sherbet and okay, first off, rainbow sherbet ice cream is a top 3 ice cream flavor in my opinion. It's great. And Thrifties, bro. Yes, Thrifties. We have a Thrifties in by my house. It's in a Rite Aid, and it's fire.
I'm
like
old
you
enough
said.
to remember when Rite Aid was Thrifties.
Wow. Yeah. I think I'm not much like younger than you, but I probably am just that generational gap enough to not I don't remember that. That's crazy. I didn't know that. That's wild. Yeah, Thrifty's ice cream is unmatched, and it's so much cheaper than other ice cream. You know the restaurant Farrell's? Have you heard of that place? Like the ice cream place? Yeah, we have one in Brea here, and like it's gourmet ice cream, or we did. It went out of business during the pandemic, but it was like really good, but like fancy, like all these crazy creations of ice cream.
Yeah.
But the most annoying part is you drop like $10 for some ice cream, and you could see into the kitchen and shit, and it was like things of Thrifty's ice cream with like Kroger peanut butter and Ralph seasoning, and I was like, dude, we're paying them just to make this shit for us. What the hell's going on?
Exactly.
So, okay, that's a great answer. What's your number 2?
So I'm going off of like, these are all, I put a lot of thought into this. I don't know if that says about me.
I appreciate it. I love desserts so much that I have a whole fucking segment about it on my podcast.
I'm gonna say, I don't even know if they have it anymore. But this is another thing. When I was younger, the Butterfinger McFlurry at McDonald's.
Oh wow, yeah.
Because I was a huge Butterfinger, and Butterfinger ice cream that I usually find is trash. Because it's like Butterfinger ice cream, and it's like, no, I want fucking vanilla ice cream with Butterfinger chunks in it.
Yeah,
not a Butterfinger flavored ice cream. So Butterfinger McFlurry, because I think they only do like M&M or Oreo now.
You know where you can find basically that is if you hit up like it's either Wiener Schnitzel or Dairy Queen, whoever does the blizzards. They have Butterfinger blizzards. At least the last time I have had a good
blizzard.
So I mean that can be like a nice, because I agree with you. It's not like like you said, I want vanilla ice cream with pieces of Butterfinger on it. I don't want vanilla caramel ice cream with like pieces of this and that. No, I just want Butterfingers and ice cream. So
yes,
another good candy ice cream thing like that. Have you ever had those the Snickers ice cream bars?
Yes.
Those
where it's like legit a Snickers, but instead there's ice cream instead of like the nougat inside.
Yes. Oh, that's a great one. If I just wanted to make
sure
if you hadn't tried that to put you on that. What's your third favorite?
So at the restaurant I used to work at, it's a cannoli.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah.
I'll say that one in particular, but yeah, cannolis are
just a bit like was it just like a normal cannoli with the normal like I forget what that.
So I had like the mascarpone cheese, powdered sugar, chocolate chips.
Okay.
The shell that they had.
Yeah.
I mean, there's other cannolis that like I've tried.
I don't know what the basic, because I used to work at an Italian restaurant too, and one of our desserts was a cannoli. But what's hilarious is I was the one who would have to make them, and I was like, I don't even know what that shit I put inside of it was called. Like, it was just the icing.
It became a thing where like I had that cannoli, and then I would go to other places to like try cannolis.
Oh, that's fun though. That's always fun when you can just like going places and trying different foods when you're really into them and stuff like that is honestly fun.
Yeah, so I guess that makes it hard because now I'm thinking like chocolate chip cookies. I don't know but I don't put that as like, That's just like a snack that I could eat all the time. I don't know if I put that in the dessert category.
Fair enough. When you really do the list, and that's why I have fun doing it, because I like to hear people's stuff, because you like if you gave me your top 3 and then listen next week, someone might say something as simple as like a chocolate chip cookie or a brownie with ice cream or apple pie with that, and you're like, holy shit, like how was that not in my top 3? But 3 is so little, so it's so fun.
It is.
But I really enjoy hearing what people's least favorite desserts are, because I love them when it's a recurring least favorite. There's some weeks, I've had weeks where someone's number 1 is the next week's person least favorite. So what's your least favorite dessert?
So this one was hard to think of, and it literally just popped in my head now, because I was just like, what's my least favorite? And then I'm gonna say like flan is not
okay. Yeah.
Like taste and texture. It's like, it's just not for me. And people can love it. My girlfriend loves flan, and she was like, for me though, I'm just not, it's not for me. I'm just not about it.
Is flan and flan the same thing, or do we just say it different? Or are those
it might be flan. I could be saying it totally wrong. It's probably flan.
I'm not gonna say you are. Like if I was because one time someone called creme brulee on my podcast cream boile, and I had to be like, you can't say it like that. But I think it's flan, but I'm not sure. So you get the free pass from me shitting on you, because I don't know.
I could be saying it like a Midwesterner, like that flan, that flan.
Yeah, but you're talking about like it's like
flan, like the little.
It's not good though.
Like a gelatin.
You're right. It's not. Yeah. I don't know what it, and it's in like a it looks like a fez hat almost, the shape of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's you know what's funny? No one said that yet, but I agree with you. That one to me is very similar to like creme brulee, which is one that's a favorite and a least favorite very often. It's weird texture. It's just kind of those like fancy, like flan might not be from France, but like, or either creme brulee, but they sound like fancy French desserts. I think our American palates like they're just not made for it, you know?
I feel like creme brulee could be, I feel like it's one of those things where like when it's good, like you're like, hell yeah, it's good. But some people try to replicate it, and it's just like, dude, this is trash. And it's because they're doing it like all wrong.
I agree with you. Yeah, we have like that's people with hot chicken right now. Hot chicken's the new thing that everyone wants to make, and it's really good if you get the good shit, but the non stuff is just greasy and trash. You know what I was thinking though about the flan dessert thing? Like, okay, so like flan, creme brulee, cannolis, all non-American desserts. They're very like bite-sizable desserts that when I eat one, I don't feel like a piece of shit after. And I've been noticing I've been thinking about that more as I do this segment, that like an American dessert is like a Pizookie with, you know, an oversized chocolate chip ice cream with scoops of ice cream, or a sundae, or a chocolate chip cookie ice cream sandwich. And it's kind of funny because it definitely fits our like food stereotype that we just eat bad shit, and it goes to our desserts too.
It's bad. I'm just thinking like Cold Stone. I go to Cold Stone, I get a gotta have it, and I crush it. That's like the largest size, and it's just like, that's not enough. Like I can eat another one of these.
Yeah,
like, I might need to slow it down.
And definitely whoever invented, I feel like I should know, like if Thomas S. Dessert invented dessert, whoever invented it, there's no way that he was like, yeah, your dessert's supposed to be 1,000 calories, because like, bro, like that's how, like like you said, the Cold Stone gotta have it. You know, another fire dessert place that's a ridiculous concept is, have you ever had Afters, where it's ice cream inside a glaze? Amazing. I cannot suggest it enough that if you haven't had it and you're listening, to go try it. But it is horrible for you, and you don't feel great after. You're not going to go run a marathon or do anything productive after eating that.
It's quick. You enjoy it like as you're eating it, but once you are completed, it's just like, man, that's gonna hurt. That's gonna be rough.
No, I completely agree. The last thing, guys, this normally isn't in the Avid Deserter segment, but as you know, I do the weekly food reviews, and this episode, when it comes out, there'll be a food review out for Girl Scout cookies, is what I'm doing this week, breaking the tradition of a restaurant. I wanted to hear And guys, it's going to be sliced in, so you guys will go listen to it. But to promote it, and I want to hear yours. What is your favorite Girl Scout cookie?
Thin Mints.
Thin Mints? Ah, fuck you, man. I hate Thin Mints. That's half of my food review is me shitting on Thin Mints.
I mean, I understand because I feel like they're pretty basic. They're plain.
Yeah.
There's some other ones that like are better, but for me, I can crush a box of Thin Mints, no problem, and I'm down with it.
Okay, I don't like not respect Thin Mints. I don't like them because I don't like chocolate and mint. Any type of chocolate and mint, I don't like. Not there's not a New York peppermint patties, nothing. I don't like it. But I just like to shit on it because I'm a contrarian and I like to make people mad. Like, I don't like Chick-fil-A sauce. You know how fun it is to tell people you don't like Chick-fil-A sauce?
That's got to rile some people up.
It riles people because, like, you had the appropriate response. You went, "Ooh, you don't like Chick-fil-A sauce," but you're like, whatever. But some people, when you tell them that, they're like, "You don't like Chick-fil-A sauce? Do you hate babies and money and shit?" It's like, dude, fuck you and your Chick-fil-A sauce. Like, I don't know. I just like to.
That's more Chick-fil-A sauce for me. Like,
exactly, yeah.
That's
what
on the bag. You don't like it.
That I don't like it.
I get extra. I'm just gonna take that straight without any chicken. That's just.
You've had the best response. I'm gonna start telling people that. Like, I'm just gonna be like, more for you. Like, quit your bitching. But yeah, I just like to disagree with people. But mine is I like the Samoas or the Caramel Delights. I don't know why half the cookies have two names, but
I'm not a coconut fan. So those are coconut, right?
See, and that's okay. All right. So two things. One, I lied. I do know why there's two different names for the comedy aspect of it. I said no, but yes, I looked it up today when I was writing the review because I thought there maybe be like a funny edge I could take with it, but there's nothing funny that they have just two distributors. But I figured maybe most people don't know that, guys. If you've ever wondered why there's like peanut butters and tagalongs and like different names, it's because it's the same cookie just made by a different distributor, which is kind of ridiculous. Now, what we were talking about, because I forgot the other thing that I was going to say. What were we just talking about? Mints. I got it. There we go. Brain's back on track. I don't like Thin Mints because I don't like mint, but I respect why people like them. Same with the Samoas. I love Samoas, and I respect why people don't get them because I can get why you hate coconut. Like, and I get that people hate coconut. I like it. I like Almond Joys. I like Snowballs. I like Caramel Delights. But
you're a unique man.
But yeah, exactly. So I get so that was a really polite way of you just being like, "What the fuck does this guy like to eat?" yeah. It's okay, but yeah. So I get why people don't like it. Have you ever had the s'mores ones?
I feel like I may have had it once, and I don't know if it's my old age, but like some stuff now is just like too much for me.
Fair enough.
Like it's just like, man, this is like I get what you're doing. Like as a kid, I'd be like, fucking yeah, sugar, all this crazy shit. It's like, hell yeah, I'm about it. And now I'm getting older and it's like, man, you're trying to fuck me up, dude. Like diabetes is real. Like
I totally get you. Cause one of my least favorite things is like chocolate cake. Like double chocolate cake with chocolate icing is too much for me. I'm gonna fall asleep eating this, like you said. And yeah, I think it's just dude, you encapsulated it perfectly. As a kid, like cotton candy ice cream with like gummy bears and chocolate in it is something I would have like stabbed my mom for. But now that I'm an adult, that sounds so terrible to eat that.
I feel like once you learn like how bad some of the stuff is for you, like then you start to take that into account of like processing it, because it does taste good. Like just straight sugar is obviously
of course
addictive in itself, but it's like, yeah, I know how terrible this is for me. So now it's not going to taste as good going down. Like I'm legit just being ignorant with my sugar consumption.
That's a good way to look at it. Fuck yeah, dude. Okay, so guys, that was the Avid Deserter segment with a little bonus. I want to move into one other segment before we get back to talking about you. This one is called the Dumbass of the Week, brought to you by Red Foreman.
Dumbass, dumbasses, dumbass, 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 dumbass.
The Dumbass of the Week this week, brought to you by Red Foreman, is Burger King for the McDonald's for the big meatball burger. I just saw this probably 5 minutes before I got on this Zoom call with you. So you might not know about it by the time this comes out on Wednesday.
I'm gonna have to jump up on Twitter
about it. But Yeah, McDonald's is reportedly making a big meatball burger. Why? Why? Why is that a thing?
I don't know who in marketing is just like, we need to jump into the meatball sandwich game right now.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. Marketing teams don't hire average Joes. The problem with marketing teams is like McDonald's is one of the best ran corporations in the world. That's why they're so successful. So they're going to hire the guy on their marketing team who had a 5.0 in college and graduated with this and has this and that. But the problem is he got all that because he just kind of sat in his room by himself. Marketing teams need to start getting average Joes like me and you who can hear these ads. I always get mad at the companies that do ads that when they're read out loud, they're like Burger King Burger King should have been the dumbass of the week. I can't believe that I never gave them it for when they tweeted out all women belong in the kitchen. That's what you thought I was going to, huh?
I thought you were going to that.
Dude,
and I was like, what the fuck?
Congrats, McDonald's, on your meatball sandwich. You're off the fucking hook because you're right. It should be Burger King. How did no one tell them that was not a good idea is the whole point of my rant, you know?
That's a funny joke when you tell it to your one friend and they're like, huh. And that's not a massive, like, this is our marketing campaign, guys.
Yeah.
Women in the kitchen. It's just like, I don't know if like running along the lines of misogyny is our go-to plan right now.
Yeah. Like, how was not one person in here? They were like, all right, marketing pitch. On Women's Day, we're going to tweet women belong in the kitchen so we can promote women equality. And no one was like, yo, that is a fucking terrible idea. That man they should have fired him or woman. Maybe a woman came up with that idea. This is a point where women can't get mad at me because I'm saying I don't think they're stupid enough to do this, because this had to be some dude who didn't realize it and you just need a normal person. Me and you would have been like, that ain't it, chief. Do not post that.
On Women's Day, you don't post a zero context tweet about women belong in the kitchen.
Yeah.
As a restaurant brand. The subtweet where they had, they're like, oh yeah, because these statistics show that there's not this many female chefs. It's like, yeah, you need to fucking come up front and center with that. Like, that needs to be like, here's the information, women belong in the kitchen. Not women belong in the kitchen. We're going to let you scroll by this real quick and be like, come on, man.
Bro, a tweet is like what? 240 characters. Women in the kitchen used up like 25 of them. Look, I get you're going for the mislead. Just add at the end of that statement, women belong in the kitchen. There is an inequality of women. Just add one more sentence. Oh, it's just
hit enter a few times and just let it go down a little bit so you get that slight delay, but don't just be like, this is the tweet, that's it.
Exactly. Oh, dude, I'm so glad that you reminded me of that, because it must have just slipped in between like days of when I record and I forgot about that, because holy shit, like what? I don't know. There's like South Dakota was, I remember the first one where I really thought about the idea of like, you need to get average Joes into marketing team because they have a really terrible meth problem. And their slogan that they made for their initiative to combat meth was meth, we're on it. Which with proper punctuation, yes, that reads meth, we're on it. But it looks like you're saying you're on meth. So
they need someone on the team that's just like the meme guardian. Yes, it's just like, yo, this is going to be a meme real quick. Like, no, like this is going to be negative real quick. There needs to be someone on a team that knows how the internet operates, and it's not positive most of the time.
Yeah.
Someone's waiting to turn any moment into a meme.
Exactly. Dude, this literally sounds like a South Park episode where they go on the internet and find like the best memers and hire them to their brands to stop them from getting memed, because I don't know.
Anti-memers.
Yeah, dude, I don't know. Thank you for reminding me. Burger King is 100% the dumbass of the week. And Burger King fucking sucks, dude.
They don't have enough slack to go there.
Hey, I want to know, if you're listening right now, when is the last time you have eaten at Burger King? And I want you to either be like, holy shit, I haven't eaten in Burger King in this long, or I want you to feel a little bit of shame because you've eaten there recently. Whichever one it is, it's just, it used to be good too, which is, I remember as a kid being very fond of Burger King. And now you can get like 100 chicken nuggets for $5. Like, I don't know.
When I was early 20, maybe this is like late teens, after high school for sure, where Burger King was not quite out the door as much as it is now. Like I could find one relatively close to my house, but that was the thing where it's just like, you know what, I want some, chicken tenders right now or chicken nuggets from Burger King.
Exactly.
I'm gonna go get 10 for $1.
Dude, their fries weren't bad. There was a point where they had, like, at least at the one by my house, you could get fucking Cinnabon cinnamon rolls there. They had an icy machine. Like, it was cool. And then now I don't know. So yeah, they win the dumbass of the week. Okay, man. So I want to move into talking to you just a little bit more. I'm going to kind of combine these two things as we've had a lot of fun talking. I don't want to keep you too long, but so the hockey stuff, I know I stalk all my guests' Instagram. I know that you had an internship with the Anaheim Ducks. The rink is what it's called, I believe, right? The rinks. Okay. So the rinks, are you still doing that? Are you still working for them in any capacity?
Yeah, I'm still working on that.
Okay. And do you, like, because you post pictures of you in uniforms, and then I wasn't so sure if they were more like promotional things. Do you play hockey also?
I do play hockey as well.
Okay, that's fucking badass.
In like the stuff in like the full kit.
Yeah.
The stuff I've been posting, like it was 2 seasons ago, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe last season.
Yeah.
But like for media day, when they do the like photos of all the players and stuff, you need to set up your lighting and get your cameras dialed in.
Okay.
So when they come in, it's just a streamlined process of like, okay, do this, and I don't have to worry about adjusting anything. Yeah. So I was the person that went in and just had everything on so they can get the prop, like know how it's gonna glare, how the jersey's gonna react, all that stuff. So I got, like, for me, it's like I got free, like, dope ass photos looking like a somewhat professional hockey player.
That's cool.
I mean, I guess not for free. I got paid for it because it was part of my work. But
that's even better than,
and then they were able, like, that just allows them to be ready to go when all the actual players come in and do that stuff. But I do actually play. So
okay, that's cool. All right then. So I have fallen in love with hockey recently. We talked a little bit about this before we started recording. I don't know how it took me so long. As like, what makes it worse is it's like, you think as a white, I'm white. My last name comes, Lejean is French Canadian. Like my family is from Quebec. You think that somehow I would have got into hockey having Canadian blood in me. I never got into it. My family wasn't really a friend of it or a fan of it. And I started becoming a fan recently. And here's what's going to make you sad is you're a Ducks fan, right?
Yes, I am.
I was 110% going to be a Ducks fan. But I became a fan during COVID, and there was the break. And I said, I want to watch a team when it comes back. And LA and Anaheim weren't in the round robin tournament. So I just picked Vegas because they were the new team, and my uncle works in Las Vegas. So I was like,
there you go.
There's my connection. And so now I'm a Vegas fan. This is like the first full season I've been watching. I've been falling in love with it. What position do you play?
So I played a little bit in college and like club team, mostly forward. Like I could play D, but it's a different mindset that like I would have to take a lot of adjusting to get like used to.
Yeah.
Because it's like D is like playing safety.
Okay. Yeah.
So you have to know that you are the last resort.
Yeah.
If someone gets behind you,
podcast name drop. Yes. Yes, and a football reference. I don't even know if you meant to do that on purpose, but if
I
I
didn't
could
mean the
make
podcast reference, but it worked out
gold
perfectly.
stars appear on my screen, I would give you fucking 50 gold stars right now. That was cool. Okay, sorry.
No worries. Glad I did that.
Well, yeah.
Even
Thank you. All right. So what were you saying though? Your last resort, like you're the last when you're playing defenseman. You were saying.
Yeah. So you have to have that mindset of like nothing. If someone's behind you, like shit's going like downhill.
Yeah.
So you mostly play forward.
Okay.
Wing and center.
Did you learn to ice skate and then get into hockey, or did you roller skate and play roller hockey? Like how'd you kind of get into it and learning it through that, or was it all at once?
So growing up, I've always been pretty athletic. So growing up, like I skateboarded, played a bunch of like backyard sports, football, soccer, all that stuff. Did roller skate, ice skated a few times. So I knew like I had the balance, coordination.
Yeah.
So when like by the time I wanted to actually start playing, I started playing roller hockey. And just because it's like for me, it felt like an easier transition into getting used to it, because ice is like a totally different beast.
It's ice skating is not easy. I can ice skate and roller skate because I grew up roller skating, but I like ironically never have ever in my life played roller hockey in any capacity. I just happened to like I just roller skated for fun, I suppose. But sorry, so what were you saying?
So that was like the same thing where I just like roller skated. So by the time I started, it was like, okay, I already have like at least the understanding of the balance.
Yeah.
So it was when I like first was just like, I'm gonna play. It was like got a stick and like some pucks, like some roller pucks, practice shooting and doing all that stuff. And then like transition to doing it in skates. And then I started to go to stick times, which are like basically open rink time where you just can shoot around and do all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then started doing like pickups, which is like, like pickup basketball, the same type of thing. And like slowly progressed through that. And like over time, just, it's like a lot of YouTube, just actually going out there and doing stuff and like playing with other people that give you like little tips and tricks and things to like understand it. So it was like learning how to shoot and do all that stuff, skates, like roller. And then I went from roller for about few years, and then jumped into ice. And then once I hit ice, it was like a totally, for me, like ice and roller are two different things. They are two different things because like the skating's different.
Yeah. Because
the ice, you can transition and because you're cutting into a surface instead of like gripping to it. So if I want to like switch, if I want to turn around on ice, it's an easy, like I'm changing my edges and just turning around versus roller is like, I got to grip and like turn and like move my feet more.
Yeah.
So ice felt like more natural. Like for me, the skating was much easier to get into once I got like the edge work down.
Yeah. That's interesting. So would you someone who would say that roller hockey is harder, or is that just your personal preference?
So for me personally, like roller hockey's harder just because I'm used to being able to, like with ice, like I know how to, like roller is harder to, because you're like stopping on wheels. It's kind of similar to ice. But like the change of direction is different.
Yeah.
For ice, I can just like, my understanding and like athleticism allows me to just be like, change direction.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm gonna turn around, do this. So it's much more fluid to where like if football is running, like ice hockey is skating, you don't think about running when you're playing football.
Yeah.
It's just automatic, like your body knows what to do. So you can focus on like the upper body aspect of it.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like if I'm playing roller hockey, I have to consciously think like what my feet are doing. If I'm playing ice, it's more of just like automatic. I've been through this situation before and I just need to worry about like what my hands are doing and like making sure my head's up and looking for plays and stuff like that.
Yeah. You got a good slap shot, or are you, oh fuck. Sorry, the Knights just gave up a goal. But But you got a good slap shot, or are you more like an inside, like play down by the net guy? What's kind of your play style?
So my slap shot's terrible.
Okay.
That's one thing that's like, I know how to do it. Like if we're just warming up, like I can, do it. Anytime I've tried to do it in like a game situation, it's fucking either a muffin, it's a whiff.
Yeah.
It's very ignorant of myself to think that something I don't practice a lot is something I could do in a game like situation. So I'm more of like, I would say a power forward style where like, I'm just gonna, cause for me, it's like, I'm like close to 200 pounds.
Yeah.
I'm on the bigger side as far as like weight. And I feel like playing football has helped me because I know how to use my like body and weight and stuff. So I can, and all that. The physical aspect's a little bit more intuitive to me. So like I like to just skate fast, like skate outside and then take it to the net, like just use a little power move versus like being fancy or like taking a slap shot. I'm getting, most of my goals are like 5 feet, 10 feet around the net.
That's so cool though, man. That's so cool that you play like, because it's funny because I definitely miss doing athletic things, and it really sucks because I forgot I was telling this to like a comic friend of mine. He was a really good cross country runner in high school, so he could run like a 5-minute mile, and I was like, and anytime he wants to feel, it's so insane to be able to run that fast, but like he can go out and kind of relive his athleticism any day by going on a run. No one's playing, like I played, there's flag football, but I played defensive end. There's nowhere I can go play pickup as a defensive end, really. And so I think it's cool that like you said, you play at the rinks and stuff, but that, you started playing, you just said pickup games, that there are pickup games. It's kind of funny because the more I get into hockey, the more I'm like, I should get a pair of roller skates and fuck around and do it. But I've also never in my life, like I've never used a hockey stick. So I would have to learn everything as the basics, but that's cool that you can do that all the time. There was one more question involving it that I wanted to ask you before I go. Who's your Stanley Cup prediction?
Stanley Cup prediction.
Yeah.
Trying to think. I feel like I haven't been paying much attention to the East right now. I know Florida's doing good.
Yeah.
Shit. I feel like Vegas is up there for sure. Colorado and Vegas, I feel like are the top ones for the West.
Yeah.
Or at least for what would be West, because now it's all mixed up. So I'd say Colorado West would be my picks out of the West. North Division, I feel like Toronto's been doing pretty good, and I feel like they're starting to get the good mixture of like scoring and grit and have the goaltending. The East, I feel like Florida's tearing it up. What are the other? Is it Central?
Yeah, I'm pulling up the standings right now. I'll help you out in a second. So we got, in Central, it's Tampa Bay and Florida look like they're in the lead, with Carolina pretty close. And the Blue Jackets aren't far behind either in points. But Tampa Bay has 48 points. In the East, it's Washington with 44 and the Islanders with 44 also. The North is Toronto and Edmonton with 42, and then the West is Vegas with 43 and Colorado with 40. So those are definitely
so Toronto, I feel like could have a chance. I never know with Edmonton because they do have McDavid and Draisaitl, and are starting to get like Mike Smith, who's a goaltender, who's like a salty vet, has been around for a while and he's doing pretty good. But like you never know, like once playoffs hit, there's one thing being a team that can like kill it during a regular season where you're not. I mean, this is a little different because they're playing each other so much, and that allows you to really get to know the other team. But like in a 7-game series, and that's why I think hockey is so unique, because like basketball you have 7-game series, like baseball you have it, but there's not a physical aspect to like a hockey game where it's like similar to football. Like imagine 7 football games against the same team
No, that's so
in a
that would be
week,
so
like
insane.
in 10 days.
Well, I remember last playoffs, I watched that Columbus Blue Jackets game where they went into 5 overtimes or whatever, and just how exhausted those skaters looked after just, I mean, like in that, even just in the 3rd overtime alone, how tired everyone looked was crazy. So yeah, it is, that's how all sports though is you just got to get hot at the right time. I mean, there's teams that have won championships, that, in football were wild cards, and in hockey that weren't, the top of the division. So it'll be interesting. It'll be fun to watch. I'm super excited this year for like, I'm not great at watching other hockey that isn't Golden Knights because I'm still new to it, but I'm excited to get into like, yeah, I think I'll be able to get into playoffs this year, like watching other teams play playoff games, good matchups. I'll probably watch the whole Stanley Cup, whether the Knights are in it or not. So, that's super cool though that you play hockey, man. The last thing I wanted to ask you about you real quick, you mentioned it earlier, is that you skateboard too, right?
Yeah.
What's your level of like competence? Like, can you do tricks, or do you just skate for like to get around? What kind of where you at on the skate spectrum, I suppose?
So I mean, I could do tricks. Like I don't know like how to rank it as far as like advanced tricks, but like I used to skate to where like aspirations of getting sponsored and doing all that stuff. And so I learned like the technical skills of doing like 360 flips, kick flips, all that different stuff.
Are you a fan of watching skateboarding?
Yeah, I'll still watch.
Are you X Games or Street League?
I'd probably more Street League, and just for like the appreciation of like Rob Dyrdek being able to create like a sports league for skaters, I think is pretty like damn dope, because I grew up where skating was like counterculture, and now it's just like, no, these guys can and girls can get paid regularly to compete through a season.
Yeah, because I grew up the same way. I was a skater. I grew up, riding around town, trying to ollie gaps, learn tricks like that. I was never that great at it, but I still, like in college, I used my penny board. I'm not in college no more, but like I would use my penny board to get around to classes. If I had to park far away, if I didn't have my car that day, like that type of stuff. So I use it to kind of mob, but for watching it too, yeah, I grew up watching Street League stuff. Like I remember when Nyjah Houston had that one where he hit like it was like a 9.8 or something crazy high like that. So I was just curious to kind of see what kind of skill level. You post cool stuff on that. A little promotion of him just before we get out of him and move into the final 2 segments and some Star Wars stuff. Go check out his photo page. I got it right here. It's DJ_photo lens. Check out his art page, DJs_doodles. It's D_Harris, but 1 as the I is your Instagram, correct? Right. Yep. So go follow them on there, guys. They'll kind of lead you to each page. It'll be in the bio. They'll have already shown if you wanted to follow or check anything out. I just wanted to do that. Now, we're moving into one of the 2 final segments. The original segment of the podcast is the Would You Rather segment. So I got 2 more Would You Rathers for you now. The first one is, would you rather never eat fast food again, or only eat the same 3 fast food items for the rest of your life? So you have full range. So I mean, if you go like, if you want to be like, I want a chicken salad, I want, a burger, and I want this, and those are your 3 choices. You can have those, or you can never have fast food ever again. Everything has to be like a sit-down restaurant if you want it.
Damn. That's hard. I wanted to say no fast food ever, but then because I was just like, I could just learn to replicate it myself and like cook it.
Yeah.
But then, I mean, I guess the more accurate answer would be like 3, and then whatever I didn't pick, like I couldn't have, I could just learn how to replicate that.
Yeah. Okay. For this question, it's like, if you kick fast food out of your life, of course you can go home and make everything you want. If you pick the fast food, those are the I'll change it up a little. You could pick one fast food place, but you can only eat there for the rest of your life. So I mean, yes, like I always say, Jack in the Box has a very good diversity. You get a fucking chicken teriyaki bowl or tacos, but so you could pick somewhere like that, and you could always pick something different. But you're either stuck always eating at one fast food place or never eating fast food again. So no more Chick-fil-A, no more, like Chipotle's fast food, all that kind of stuff. You can't. You got to either make food at home or you got to sit down at like a restaurant.
Shit, that's hard.
Yeah,
I would pick having to choose one over not
never
having
again.
it. Yeah.
Damn, yeah. I mean, that's like, I think like I want to say never again, and just being like, it would be good for me and healthy, and I would eat out less. And like you said, you could try and replicate some stuff and like that. But I mean, damn, dude, like it would be harder than you think. Like, I think at any time you've ever been in a rush and had to grab food quick, anytime it's been a late drunk night and you've grabbed food at 2 a.m, like all that is no more if
That's true.
you choose to get it out of your life. So yeah, I might go with you and just pick one place and learn to eat there.
Yeah. And it would just be choosing one that has a good enough range to where you don't, like, you can stretch it out to where you're not getting tired of stuff too quickly.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like Subway could be a good one because you can get like flatbreads at Subway, you get sandwiches, you can get wraps.
That's true.
And there's all different kinds, from like vegan to like the meatiest sandwiches possible. So I don't know. That one had me thinking. Some of these sometimes are easy and some make me
it really open you up too. You'd have to like try stuff outside your wheelhouse.
Mm-hmm. Which would be good
like,
for everyone.
Yeah.
I think we're all creatures of like picking the same thing. Now, the last would you rather is would you rather erase your own memories, like be able to erase your own memories, or be able to erase other people's memories? You have full control over it. It's not like you're going to try to erase like an embarrassing thing that happened and you're like, oh shit, there goes my 7th birthday. Like, not anything like that. So, or, so it's kind of the way to look at it is you do some dumb shit and you want to forget about it, you could get rid of it, or you see some traumatic stuff, you get rid of it. But anytime you ever said some like dumb shit or shit that went too far or the wrong thing or hurt someone's feelings, you kind of just kick that out of their head and erase it.
I would say be able to erase my own memory, because I can then control both aspects. Because me fucking up someone else's like situation, it's still on me. Like I can still learn to be a better person about it and like try and change things I do. But like I wouldn't want to like fuck up and know I could fuck up and then erase someone's memory.
Oh, that's that's an interesting
I would just be like, but I would also want to be, hey, this situation might like really bog me down mentally. Mm-hmm. And if I could just like bloop, get rid of that like baggage, and then just be like a more forward moving person, because I don't have to like think about something that like traumatized me. Yeah. Then I'd want to like selectively be able to like, this thing's holding me back, and I could just remove that from my memory. Yeah. And try and be a better person, like moving forward.
Yeah, that's an interesting thought to think about that. Because at first I go like, oh, I don't want to erase my memories. I want to learn from my mistakes. And if I hurt someone, I'd want to be able to fix it. But you might also get that complacency of where like I could be, you know what I mean? Like you could just be like, oh, I'm going to try and do this, and it might piss all these people off, but I can just erase their memory. And then you just end up becoming like a shittier person because of that. So that's
a tough one.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. So, okay, I think I'll go the same with you, where I'd rather like erase my own than erase people's where you're not.
It's hard to know like if you're gonna abuse your power or not.
I'd rather just like, not. Yeah,
it's a good side, dark side of like a shit
of having a power of just any power in general.
Yeah.
Now, okay, man. So we're gonna move into. I want to talk to you about Star Wars. I know you're a big Star Wars guy. We'll message about Star Wars sometimes. is this too much to ask you off the top of your head to give me your list of favorite movies, like in order? Can you think of that quickly or no?
In order, I don't know. I can try in order.
What's your?
But I was thinking about this because I figured, both of us being Star Wars fans, that this topic might come up.
Of course.
Empire Strikes Back is one. Like, number one.
Okay. That's my number two.
I feel like the original trilogy for me has to be top three, just because it's like that is what indoctrinated me into Star Wars.
Okay, yeah.
It's hard after that because I really like Rogue One and like Solo. I really like what they're doing with like the different stories within the universe.
Anthology series I think are dope. I mean, Rogue One's kind of universally loved, but Solo gets hate. But I liked Solo a lot, and I'm actually like, I think for Star Wars fans, it's really a bummer that it came out after like the fallout of Episode 8 because everyone hated it so much, and that it was and it was a movie 6 months after another Star Wars movie, and it had all those rewrites, giving it a $600 million budget, so it wasn't a success. But like, we're gonna miss out probably on getting to see Maul as the leader of like of Death Watch, and like get to see more Maul and shit like that, because we didn't, you know what I mean, because it didn't get the greatest ratings and people were upset about just kind of more Star Wars in general.
I feel like it's hard because it's like Star Wars is held to such a high standard by people who grew up like watching it. So it's now, if like you do anything that's like slightly off, it's just like you fucked up and now you're not in our good graces. So things go like downhill quick. But it's just like, there's some stuff that may have been a little off, but you can't say the whole movie was trash because this one little thing or another, part of the Star Wars universe didn't do as well either. So I don't know. I try to just take it as just like, I'm fucking lucky I get to see all of these stories played out.
Yeah. We
see it in theaters and shit.
I've talked about that with other Star Wars fans, is it's like, maybe whether you think I'm not like these new movies, I don't hate all of them. I'm really not a fan of 8. 9 had its moments, but also was very ridiculous. 7 felt very much like 4 to me, just rewritten. Not that and I'm not saying that I hate them or anything, but like you said, is we are in the golden age of Star Wars. If you were born in 1950 and you were in your 20s or your 30s, and when the first Star Wars came out, all you got was episode 4, 5, and 6. And then if you were younger, you lived.
Like the Star Wars specials and dumb shit.
Yeah, all that dumb, terrible, the holiday, special that no one wants to watch. Like all that, dude. We're so lucky that, I mean, in a year there's gonna be a Star Wars show on Disney Plus pretty much year round. Basically, as fans, we can be like, we want Boba Fett, and they're like, here's a whole show for him. Like,
exactly.
We're so lucky. Whether you think they're amazing or not, it's so lucky that we get that kind of to live in this era, I suppose.
We're privileged as fuck. Like,
exactly.
And that's where it's just like, okay, there can't be a thing where it's just like we have to accept everything that comes. But there also has to be an understanding of like, we're getting a lot of shit that like no one else got. Like there's a lot of emphasis put into it. Like there's a lot of talented people that want to be a part of like the Star Wars universe, whether it's like written stuff, like you're talking about books, comics, movies, television, like people want to be a part of it that are talented. So like you're going to get good shit. And Disney likes to put out good shit. So they're going to do their best to do that. And Jon Favreau is a saint.
Yeah, Favreau and Filoni, I love them so much.
Oh man,
they're amazing. Now, all right, guys, I'm gonna kind of bunch that one in with the Last Resort Media. We're running a little long here on time. I don't want to keep you too long. So before we wrap the podcast up right now, this was a Would You Rather last week, but I feel like it's great for you to answer too, and it's a fun one for my Star Wars fans. So sorry guys if you heard this again last week, but would you rather look like Jar Jar Binks or talk like Jar Jar Binks? Because yeah, I mean, what we kind of talked about is like, okay, if you look like Jar Jar Binks, you look like an alien, so it's going to be hard to go anywhere. You're going to be a freak. People are going to look at you, but you do sound like a normal person. But imagine like if you talk like Jar Jar Binks talks so ridiculous. To talk like him, you would probably end up living alone.
I would have to say look like Jar Jar Binks for sure.
Okay.
Because I feel like if I looked like Jar Jar Binks and still had like same personality, like there's a chance like people would still like me. I would just be like the Jar Jar Binks guy.
Yeah.
But if I sounded like Jar Jar Binks, I feel like there's a lot of times where like friends would be like, dude, just please, like,
go home.
Shut the fuck up. Like, yeah. Who invited him? Like, why?
Exactly. Yeah. Shit, dude. Okay, I like that answer. Yeah, I just figured I wanted to hear what you had to say. So this is the part now we're ending the podcast. I want to give you a minute. We've promoted your stuff a bunch, but I want to give you just a little bit of time to promote it, maybe promote some other stuff that you have. And otherwise, guys, the links will be in the bio, but the floor is all yours.
Okay. Well, thank you for having me on. And this is my first podcast. I've messed around with AJ and like his podcast stuff, but nothing like out. So that's my first one that would be.
Well, I'm glad I could help you with it. You're a talented you were a great guest, and you're a talented person, and it's always fun to look at. I love looking at different people's art forms and all that stuff.
I appreciate it. So, yeah, Doodles, my DJ's Doodles page. I draw, not as much as I should, but I'm trying to be more consistent. DJ's Photo Lens is my photo account. I created that to not spam my regular account and to share my photos, and trying to dive more into pursuing that as like a side hustle and my career path. And then my regular page is D_HARR1S. And I just post stuff about my life, hockey, my partner, my dog. I post videos on YouTube, doing mundane stuff, trying to make it entertaining, vlogs, stuff like that. But yeah, that's me. I don't know.
No, man, that's awesome, guys. Please make sure you go support him, man. You know that anyone that's on the podcast squad is now part of the squad, part of the family. So we appreciate you for coming on, man. I really do. Make sure you guys go check out his stuff. To the listeners, thank you so much for listening. If this is your first time or your 53rd time listening, thank you so much. We're moving into year 2 of the podcast. That's fucking crazy. I'm so thankful for everyone, guys. We still got shirts available. You know where to find them. Same with the stickers. Let me know. But otherwise than that, guys, thank you for listening. And most importantly, thank you for letting us be your last resort. See ya.
This has been a Your Last Resort production.